Tyson versus Paul, the much anticipated fight in Arlington, Texas, that was hosted by Netflix last night and streamed around the world. Now, you may wonder why in the world someone who talks about politics, talking about a sporting event. Well, I watched it last night because of the cultural relevance, and I have to say, while I was not impressed with the fight at all, and I have a feeling in my gut that it was probably staged, I want to highlight something that Jake Paul said in his victory speech last night. Take a listen to this, and then I want to talk about it.
It's not about me, man. I wanted to give a thanks to all the real heroes, the U.S. military, the doctors, the nurses in the ER, the cops, the firefighters, the farmers, the truck drivers, all the people who make this world go around. Thank you, America. It's the era of truth. It's the era of good. There's a shift in the world, and good is rising. The truth is rising. I'm just honored to be a part of America, and it feels like we're back, baby.
Now, I want to start off by saying, if you're new to this channel, I could care less about sports. To be honest, I thought that Mike Tyson, given the beast that he is, even at 58 years old, was going to knock the hell out of Jake Paul. And to be honest, I was disappointed in that regard. But we're talking about a 27-year-old versus a 58-year-old. But it's still Mike Tyson, guys. I thought that he was going to rip his head off. But at the end of the day, I watched it, as I told you in the beginning of this video, for the cultural relevance. But what I did like was that portion of Jake Paul's victory speech at the end. And the fact that two people can fight each other and still have a mutual respect for one another. We need to get back to that in this country. And we need to never forget how blessed we are to live in America, even with all of our problems, even with the struggles that we have as a people. Here we see an example of two people fighting each other, and yet they have a mutual respect for each other. And what did Jake Paul do after he won the fight? He gave credit to America for making him who he is. And I have to respect that. I don't know much about Jake Paul as a person. But, at least in this regard, he seems to have his priorities straight. He's giving credit to the military, to the farmers, the truckers, the people who keep our country running. He knows that without America, he would be nothing. And I respect that. I am glad and grateful that I am an American. I know that in this country, even in 2024, we have more opportunity than anywhere else in the world, and that if government will just get out of the way, the American people can make the best of any situation, even a crappy one. And that at the end of the day, as long as we remember who we are and remember the principles set forth in the Declaration of Independence and operated in the Constitution of the United States, we can overcome any challenge. But we must stop looking at each other as the enemy. I have told you before, your neighbor is not your enemy. And here we see two people that were fighting each other as part of an exhibition fight, and yet at the end of the day, after slugging it out, they came together, they shook hands as men. They had a mutual respect for each other. And that is something, regardless of whether you're a sports lover or someone who really doesn't care about sports one way or the other like me, that we can all take away from this and we can all learn. Stop looking at somebody who thinks differently as your enemy. And if we can remember one another's humanity, even when we have very tenuous disagreements, even disagreements that would lead to blows, if we can remember each other's humanity, then we remember that there's another person on the side of those views, with a heart, with feelings, with passions, and we would stop demonizing one another just because we think differently and start looking at each other as people. And I respect that. We need to get back to that. We need to remember who we are, because that's the only way we're going to overcome any challenge. And so for Jake Paul, in his victory speech, not to gloat or to make it about him, but to say he feels a sense of hope and renewal in the country itself, to me is inspiring. And I hope that each and every one of you within the sound of my voice today feel the same way, that you realize that better days are ahead of us. And it's not because of a politician, it's not because of some political party, but it's because of the ideas of liberty. And that if enough people really get behind the ideas of liberty and say, I have the courage to pursue my dreams, regardless of whatever is stacked up against me, if we can all do that, our country and our world would be in a much, much better place. I mean, we're talking about a person here, Jake Paul, who was a YouTuber, and now he's a professional fighter. Only in America could someone get on their phone or on their computer, make YouTube videos, become famous doing that, and then become a professional fighter. I love this country. I love the opportunity we have. And we need to remember our blessings and the ideas that spurred this country on, that birthed this country in the first place. If we don't do that, we will lose ourselves. And so I'm grateful to see a celebrity actually paying tribute to the country that is the greatest nation I believe the world has ever seen. And if you agree with me and you believe that better days are ahead, please do me a favor. Please like this video because it helps out the algorithm. Please share it. And please subscribe to my channel. It helps to grow and expand the channel so I can make more content for you guys. God bless you, and God bless America.